All right, guys. Sunday. Hope you're having a good weekend. Um, Full 2 days off to recover, both mentally and physically. Obviously, specifically for the varsity, it was a really tough night, and it's what nobody wants. It's what nobody works for. But that's just how it goes sometimes. Part of life is dealing with adversity, and we got to move forward. I know for me personally, I've been thinking about different changes we need to make in terms of how to make our offense run smoother, how to make practices run a little smoother. And I can share with you guys some of those thoughts tomorrow. But there will be a few changes being made. Obviously, that score on Friday is not good enough. We know that. We're playing Otay Ranch on Friday, rivalry game. They are playing very well, so it's going to be another tough challenge. But, it doesn't matter who we play right now. We have to consistently move the ball and score in the red zone if we're going to have any chance to win. We have to stop the run on defense, and we got to stop giving up deep passes. So, it doesn't really matter who we're playing right now. We have to do those things well to be able to win games. And I know we have the talent to do that. I think we got to shorten practices just a little bit moving forward. We looked a little tired on Friday. No more two-way players. Okay, I've already texted some of you guys, but Wally, you're going to be defense for now. Tyler's going to be offense, and Torres, we're going to move over to O-line to help us run the ball. And we're just going to keep working, man. We got 5 games left in the regular season. Otay is really by far right now the toughest test left. And then, the rest of the games are going to be, good ones as well. So everything's right in front of us. That's the good news. Nobody likes our record, but right now it's a rivalry week. You throw your record out the window. Everyone's 0-0. And then when we start league in 2 weeks, everybody's 0-0. So, we got to keep working. But specifically on offense, okay, there are going to be big changes. The biggest change by far is we're signaling everything every day. I will be on the sideline signaling to the receivers, the quarterback, the old linemen need to quickly get by Jaden, hear the call, and we need to go. Okay, right now we are not big enough. We're not just being frank. We're not talented enough to just huddle and then beat people off the ball. We have to have tempo. We have to start moving faster and getting the calls in faster. And I'm to blame for this because we have not been practicing it enough. We've been trying different things with the band and huddling, and it has not worked just to the level it needs to work. So signals will happen every day from here on out. We will practice them. The plays are going to be simpler. I'm going to explain that in a second. That's going to start with easier formations, less words, and we got to go. If you can get a defense moving and not set before we snap the ball, then we got a chance to win that play. Will we have some series where we want to slow it down? Yes. Will we have an under center package for the goal line? Yes. Could that still be on the band? Yes. But I'm about to go over, guys, what the foundation of our offense should be. Okay, we're talking like 60 to 70% of the things we do on Friday night should be these things that we're about to talk about. Okay, if we cannot do these things well, we're not going to be successful. Okay, and I think that's the issue right now is we've wavered from what our foundation on offense is, and it should be spread, inside zone, counter, run the ball, and throw quick passes outside if the box is full. And we've gotten away from that, and that's my fault ultimately. So it's time to get back on track. I know this stuff works. Jaden knows this stuff works. We've been trying different things, and we're going back to what we know is successful because I'm confident with it. I know our quarterback's confident with it, and it's just about practicing it over and over again. Okay, so first of all, let's go over the formation changes. Okay, the big one is in dubs. Okay, we are not flipping you guys anymore. Okay, it's too confusing for me to know what side of the ball you guys are on. It's too slow. Anytime we call dubs, it's X, H, Y, Z every time. Okay, it's the same for stack, which you guys will see. So no more flipping the X and the Z in dubs. Dubs, we play football. Okay, in trips, okay, we will flip the X. Okay, the goal is to get Tyler in more one-on-one settings. So right now, the way it looks receiver-wise, if we're keeping Wally on defense, Tyler's going to get X. We're going to move Jordan to Y. We're going to keep Jaden Sandoval at H. We're going to get more back in at Z. Okay, going back to the two-way player thing, we have players that are talented enough to go both ways for a quarter, maybe 2 quarters, but we don't have guys that go both ways for an entire game. This is my 5th year as head coach, 12th coaching high school football. I've never been able to see it full time. And I knew that, and we went away from that, and we have paid the price for that because we've not had good second halves because players that have been playing too much both sides of the ball get gassed. So right now, are there certain guys that need to learn a second position? Yes. But will they be asked to go both ways an entire game? No. And Tyler and Wally are falling into that category. So that leaves us with Mora. Get out there, play Z, man. You know, you got a bad game versus Grossmont. It's time to get back out there and prove that you should be a starting receiver. And, Am, I know you've been working out there. Isaiah Estrada, we're hopefully getting you back to help us. But I'm just going to be frank. We're thin at receiver right now. We got not a ton of depth, so the guys that are working it need to learn these plays. But going back to the formations, on trips, okay, the three receiver side is always going to be YHZ. Okay, the X is always going to be the single receiver. So trips right, trips left. We've been calling it Trey. It doesn't matter. It's the same type of idea, three receivers to one side. So if we go trips left, it's the same single receivers, the X, YHZ. Okay, so that will flip. Okay, a couple other just base formations, bunch right. Okay, we ran this Y. H is going to be always the point. Then we got the Z and we got the X to the single receiver side. And then there's bunch left. And I also want to get stack in there. Okay, I think the key two stuff in stack is nice. I also like that gator route. So there's a couple things. We can run vert, swap, stop out of this. So I do think this has some place in our offense. So formationally, that's it right now. Okay, we go fast. Again, dubs, okay, trips. And then we got bunch left, bunch right, and stack. That's it. I don't want to mess around with tight right now in gun. I'm not going to call gun anymore. Its base is gun, and we're going fast. The only thing that needs a left and a right call is trips or bunch, okay? For the RPOs, we're also making this a lot simpler, okay? If we're in dubs, okay, it's going to be always a double key call, okay? We're getting rid of flanker right now. It's just going to be 10 personnel. Flanker doesn't change a lot for us, and it's a lot more confusing for you guys. So stay in dubs, 10 personnel. If we call zona hot, key one or just one because it's in dubs. Okay, we know the X and the Z show the ball, and the Y and the H go block. Okay, so I'm not going to do the signal over the computer, but give you something as simple as dub zona hot 1. Okay, and Jaden gets the pick. Is there grass for the throw? Is the run box light for the run? Is the DN crashing or surfing? Okay, we have 4 options. Throw left, throw right, give it to the F for the quarterback pull. This is what our offense should be built around, this concept right here, okay? We should be able to run this type of play up and down the field without doing anything different, okay? Changing the formation, maybe changing key 1 to key 2, but right now, if you were to ask me, Brad, what does your offense look like? It should look like this play right here, okay? And we haven't been practicing this enough, and it's going to change starting tomorrow. We're going to go up and down the field running this concept because this should be the base of our offense, okay? Quarterback, making the right decision with the ball, putting it where the defenders are not. They load the box, we throw it. They widen out, we run it. They crash the end, we pull it, okay? All these other wrinkles should just be built upon this, okay? Here's trips. Now, key is double and dubs, automatic cap call in trips if we're doing an RPO, okay? So again, we can go cap 1, cap 2, cap 3, automatic route for the X receiver. Right now, just keep it a hitch. If you're getting pressed, convert it to a go route, okay? Tyler, right now, you have to win one-on-one if you have a press corner and you're running a cap without a safety over the top. You're our number 1 receiver in the X to win that route. Okay, you didn't win the route versus Chula, and it's going to be hard for us to run this type of play consistently if you don't win that route. Okay, but again, same concept. Jaden, numbers, grass, or leverage, make the right throw. Okay, here is bunch. Okay, so again, just a base RPO. This is what Jordan Sandoval scored on in Arizona. Okay, zona hot, key 1. Okay, number 1 receiver is the Z here because he's the closest to the sideline. The number 2 is the point. The number 3 is the Y. Okay. Again, this is a tough thing to defend for defenses. If we got numbers, throw it out there. Let's see what we can do. All right. So bunch and trips. If we're in an RPO, it's automatic cap. Okay. If we're in dubs or stack, it's automatic key to both sides. Okay. I'm not gonna, mess around, make it more complicated than that. Okay. With the run game, O-lineman, our base runs we are gonna run over and over until we are great at is inside zone and Cleveland. Okay, that's it. Okay, You guys have to run those plays well for this offense to work. Right now, we're not running Cleveland enough, so we're not very good at it. We've been messing around with Bama and Chug and Coy. That's all gone. And Zona's not good enough. We're not getting a push. I got our center. I got our right guard. I got our whole old line just absolutely stalemated at the line of scrimmage. And that's going to change. Has to change starting tomorrow. Coach Burov has a order to get you guys on the sled driving. Okay, respectfully, Chula Vista's D-line beat the crap out of our O-line on Friday. There was no push. Jonah had no room to run. And even if we have numbers in the box, you guys still have to win those one-on-one matchups. Okay, so we got to be able to run Zona and Cleveland well for us to move the ball in the run game. Okay, we can run all of our RPOs off of those two base runs. The quarterback still reads the D end. The only difference, obviously, is we're pulling guys in one of the runs. So Monday is going to be a zone day for the old linemen. All we're going to work is Zona, and Tuesday is going to be our gap day. So we're going to work Cleveland, and then we're going to work a couple other runs that we're going to talk about in a second. Okay, so if we went now the slot receivers are the guys getting the ball or open for the ball. If we're stacked, they just show now, but if they're slots, they bubble. Okay, we've gone over that. Okay, another RPO tag is just hitches, hail. Okay, quarterback, if there's space, pull it and throw it. Okay, pretty simple. And then swap, I'm not going to call it hail swap anymore. It's just when these two guys switch lanes. I stole this from Granite. Every time they ran this route, this X receiver, Z receiver was wide open. So again, that should be an easy RPO tag to whatever we're running in the run game. Okay, this is a new one, and I've done this before. Shame on me for not doing it. Jaden, if you think a slot just has open space over him, okay, you just need to check pepper, check chili pepper, and take the ball and just throw it out there, okay? You know, the idea is it's already tagged it's only tagged when we have an RPO on. So if we have a pass route on, I don't think we need to check this, but if we have like key 1 or key 2 called and the slot's wide open, just go ahead and give him a signal, check pepper, pull the ball, throw it to him, let him get positive yardage. Okay, so this would be something else that you need to have in your tool belt to get an easy completion for the offense. Okay. All right, so that is essentially 90% of our offense or more. Our base formations we're going with moving forward and our base RPO game. Okay, that should be enough to win these football games. Okay, do we have quick game passes? Do we have 3-step passes? Do we have screens? Yes, but we have to get good, really good, and rep it to ad nauseum every day until we can't fail with these plays, okay? And right now, that's our biggest issue is we're not great at the stuff I just put up on the screen, okay? We've been doing too much under center. We've been doing too much tight stuff. We've been flooding your guys' brains with way too much info, okay? Let's clean it out. Let's get this stuff ingrained into our brain, okay? Some more base wrinkles to our RPO and our run game, okay? This is one that we don't talk about enough, but it's an out call in Zona, okay? So to the play side of a run, so the left side in Zona hot or the right side in Zona cold, if you're seeing a outside linebacker or defender walk down and look like he's gonna blitz, we have to account for him. And we account for him by making an out call. It's essentially just pushing one gap over. So normally, if this was a regular Zona hot call, this left tackle would just block this defensive end. But if he feels like this linebacker is creeping and going to blitz, well, he has to communicate an out call, and they have to push that over, okay? Communicate, and it says code names, right? Communicate in a way that doesn't give away what we're doing, okay? We can talk about that tomorrow. I think we've expressed how we do it, but I'll reiterate it. The out talks to the side of the slide, so the 3 linemen that are closest to that direction, okay? So in this case, it would be the guard and the center all have to push, okay? If there is no threat after you try to slide, let's just say this S guy, this Sam linebacker, bails after he looks like he's coming, well, then just help backside because you're already oversetted. Help backside, help your buddy, and then we can try to get something in the run game, okay? But this is the same concept we use in even and odd protection. So if we slide to the left in pass pro, we have an out call alert. If we slide to the right in pass pro, we have an out call alert. These calls are not used for the backside of Zona, and they're not used for the backside of Pass Pro. But play side, we must account for an edge rusher, okay? Now, you guys might be saying, well, Jonah can just cut back this. Yes, but if this guy's unblocked, he can crash so hard that he makes the play in the backfield. So we have to definitely account for them in the run and pass game. Okay, another just base check in Cleveland, and we have not run this play enough, so we're not good at it. In a perfect world, okay, let me edit this right here. Put a D end right here. In a perfect world, this D end is going to come up field when he gets a down block, and our right guard is going to kick him out, and the right tackle is going to go underneath him. Okay, so in a perfect world, it will look like this. Okay, the right guard kicks out hard. He doesn't allow anybody underneath him, and the right tackle pulls up, and the ball hits downhill. Okay, that's not always going to happen. The defense, just like our defense should be doing, is called a wrong arm, which means he goes underneath the puller of the guard, and the guard has to account for that. Okay, there's going to be times where the guard cannot kick out the D end. In that instance, the guard needs to use a log technique. A log technique means he's going to turn the defensive end in towards the line of scrimmage, and the tackle now has to run outside of the log, and the back has to follow. Okay, so instead of making this a downhill inside gap run play, we're taking it, it's called a bounce. We're bouncing this outside because there's nothing that the defense is allowing inside the run box. Okay, I'm not going to pull up, you know what, let me try to pull up the play real quick. There was a beautiful log we had versus Bonita last year with Kobe Dunn. I'm going to pull it up real quick, and it clearly shows you guys how this should look when it is done right. Okay, so let me find it real quick. It would have been a Cleveland hot play. There's one. Here we go. Okay, so we're running Cleveland hot. Okay, so down, down, down. O-lineman, nobody can cross our face in down blocks. Okay, that has to be understood. Okay, normally this guy would be kicking out, and our right tackle here would be pulling up and underneath. But you can see this guy right here. This is called a wrong arm technique. He's going under the block, okay? And the point of that is to avoid it hitting downhill, okay? Well, this is perfect. Asher at that time was our right tackle. He goes outside of it. The back sees it. He bounces, and watch what happens. Boom. Downhill, okay? And Kobe Dunn, known to be getting to the 5 but not finishing, he gets out of the 2-yard line, okay? So this is exactly how a log should work, okay? Wipe it down. Tackle bounces outside, and Kobe, if we had a block out here, it'd be easier, but he sticks his foot in the ground and goes. Okay, so we got to get good at this technique. Okay, if we were showing you what a regular Cleveland should look like, that's a bad example, but this one doesn't work because this guy crosses the face of the down block. Okay, it's critical for this play to work. The down blockers cannot let people cross their face. Okay. So we need to get better at this play, both just the base way to run it and the adjustment, which is the log. Okay? All right. Let me go into, we're going to run these a lot more. Okay? These are essentially, it's like key one, but getting an extra blocker out there. Okay? This is an automatic throw for the quarterback. Okay? The way we're going to call it is dubs. We don't need to call left or right anymore because it's a set formation. Playboy hot, elevates on parade left, Z slip. Okay, so the right tackle knows on slip, he has to go back underneath and look for anybody to kick out. Okay, the Y, the slot, kicks out the corner. The Z in this instance it's like a half tunnel, right? He's not just doing a pure key one or a key one and getting vertical, but he's also not doing a tunnel screen. He's doing something in between. He wants to catch the ball, get inside these 2 blocks, and then get back up towards the sideline. Okay? This is an easy way for us to get the X and Z involved, and the idea is that this F flashes in front of the quarterback, we get flow to the left, and then we come back with the ball to the right. Okay, so if we were to flip it, this would be Playboy cold X slip now. Okay, everything's just flipped. And I'm already liking not having to flip the dubs formation in my mind, so I know if we call Playboy cold, it's X slip. If we go Playboy hot, it's Z slip. And you guys should have hopefully more confidence with that too. So this is going to be a base RPO thing moving forward, okay? Another easy run for us and a very effective run. We call it quarterback Cleveland hot. Nothing changes for the O-line, okay? They're running Cleveland hot. The only thing that changes is now the F is going to be faking away from the run because this is going to be a straight pull for the quarterback. So there's no give here, quarterback. If we tag a key or a cap, we can still have you read it, but if it is going to be a run based on the numbers in the box, you're going to pull and run it, okay? And what really happens here is these linebackers see the fake by the F, and it allows a lot of good leverage for the quarterback to run the ball. And Jaden, we've already talked about this. You're one of our best runners. You're one of our best athletes. So getting you involved in the run game is going to be important moving forward, okay? Another quarterback run, which you've already proven successful with, is Bama. So in this example, it's Bama hot, Oakland, okay? We have to understand, though, as a line, okay, it's still the same for, so let's just say Bama hot and Cleveland hot. The differences. There is no difference for the 3 down linemen play side. They're down blocking. Nobody crosses their face. Okay, the right guard, it does change for. Instead of kicking out now, you pull up and get to the second level. Okay, you're trying to get ideally to a linebacker. And also change for the backside tackle. You're banging down, making sure nobody goes inside of your B gap here. And then if there's no threat, you're sealing and wheeling. Okay, Burke, there was a play. We ran Bama on Friday night, and this defensive end went right underneath you here. Okay, and it was right there and killed the play. Okay, so your first job is to bang down. Nobody can get inside of you. We don't have a play here. And the second rule is if you have no threat, you wheel back to make sure nobody gets in the backside. Okay. Quarterback, we've done a great job on this. If the DN freezes or expands, you pull it or you run it. If the DN crashes on you, you pitch it. Okay. The F must have a 5-by-1 relationship, which means as the quarterback moves upfield, you stay 5 yards outside of him, 1 yard behind him. Okay. Common errors are the F wants to move up in front of him. It's got to be a pitch backwards. Another common error is it gets way too far away. Okay. So it should be like two moving pieces moving at the same time. Okay, we should not see this. We should not see that in the relationship. And again, it just needs to be practiced. This has proven to be one of our best plays. We cannot dump this because of how difficult it is to run, right? You guys have proven we can run this effectively. Linemen, we have to know the difference between Cleveland and Bama, okay? Another wrinkle, okay? Let's keep going here. This is the last run play that I feel like we really need to have, okay? This is one we have not run yet, but think chug hot last week. It's essentially a trap, okay? We ran this last year, and again, a big thing that I've made mistakes of is trying to change things to something different and get away from things that I know have worked. And this is something that has worked in the past for the offense last year. So it's just a trap, okay? It is technical. We're going to have to spend some time on it. It might not be ready by Friday, but we will be using this when we get to league. So essentially, if there's 4 D linemen, okay, we are going to call the run to the side of the 3 technique or the guy in the B gap, okay? The running back is on the same side in Titan. So if it's Titan's hot, he's on the left. If it's Titan's cold, he's on the right. And you go straight downhill, okay? Essentially what happens is the 2 linemen on the side of the trap go straight to linebackers. The center blocks back, so if it's hot, he blocks right, and the right guard kicks out. And essentially what happens is you have a really quick hitting hole right down the gut, okay? And this backside tackle, Coach Burrow will get technical with you. We got to make sure you bang down, and then if there's no threat, you can go to the weak side linebacker. So this is just a quick hitting run. All of our cross-face runs take a little time to develop. We come in with Titans and it goes right downhill, hits really, really fast, okay? If we were to run it, so this is a short trap because we're trapping a 3 technique, okay? If we ran it to a odd front or a 3-man front, this would be considered a long trap because we're trapping the defensive end, okay? So in a 40 front, we'll trap a 3. Quarterback has to call it to the 3 technique. We can really call this either way since it's an odd front, okay? So the center's got to take care of the nose. Right guard, right tackle, since it's cold, can go to linebackers. Left guard's going to do a long pull, and the left tackle bang, seal, and wheel. Okay, and this play has worked for years now in the spread offense we're running. I'll show you guys how it looks. It worked really well versus Montgomery last year, and we called it Titans, so it shouldn't be named anything else. just ran it hot. Okay, so let's do it from end zone. Okay, so here's our 3 technique, and here's our nose. Okay, so we check the Titans hot. Okay, these 2 guys are on the play side. They go straight to linebackers. Okay, the center just blocks back on the nose. We got a quick kick out, and then this guy bangs, no threat, goes to linebacker. And you guys are going to see how fast it hits. Right downhill, and you see that hole right there. Okay, and normally we want the center to force this guy wide away from the run, but our running back does a good job of cutting this back. But you can see he's going for 20 yards here. Okay. This is how it should look, man. You get that boom right there, that quick trap and going right downhill. Okay. So we are getting back to basics. All right. I am confident that we will figure this out. Okay. I'm going to share this install on Huddle, but let's watch this video. And specifically for Varsity, this is the foundation of what we got to do. Okay. Are we going to have the gimmicks? Do we have the throws? Yes. Do we have the screens? Yes. We have to be good at what we discussed in this video moving forward to win, have a chance to win the rest of our games this season, which we have the talent to do. Okay. Luckily for us, this is not a talent problem per se. This is more of an execution problem, specifically on offense. So, all right, guys, we got Varsity at 3 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to run, lift. We'll take a little break with a meeting, and then we'll practice. Like I mentioned, we will not be on the field more for 2 hours moving forward. So if we get out there at 4:45, we'll be done at 6:45, and we'll end with guys that need to do some makeup running. But I felt like we were a little tired on Friday. I've been getting good responses about the running and lifting. I will say, linemen, we're going to run you a little less, lift you a little more. That's one big change that's coming, and no practice longer than 2 hours. So we got to be more efficient with our time. Not having school should allow you guys some time to freshen up. And OTI is going to be tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They beat Grossmont pretty handedly. And for me, obviously we want to win. We want to work to win. But this game's about us being better than what we showed on Friday. Okay, I want to see some touchdowns. I want to see some defense. If drives getting off the field, I don't want to see corners getting ran by anymore. It starts with practicing right and making some changes on my end, the coaching staff's end, and then just putting it all together on Friday night. All right, guys, we're in this together. We got all the important games in front of us: rivalry game, conference game versus Castle after our bye week. And then the real ones, which is our 3 league games. And, luckily for us, it's all right in front of us. All right, talk soon.